joke about his.
There we go, guys. That's it. There it is. Oh, there it is. Whoa. We gone. Oh my God, this is unreal, man. What the fuck?
I'll talk very shortly about the Overwatch 2 thing.
Oh yeah.
So,
what's up with that? You just promise a campaign and then just never deliver it? What, you just, promise Halo co-op and then just don't ship it, or what? Like, who do they think they are?
yeah.
Sorry, what were we
It
talking
is
about?
annoyingly common. Jeff Kaplan, the pretty fantastic video game designer, hopefully hasn't done terrible things, I don't know, whatever. Jeff Kaplan announced the single player. Basically everything Jeff Kaplan worked on was like awesome. So people were really excited.
Oh, have you clarified that this is for Overwatch 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Yeah. He announced single player stuff and like hero mode and all this other type of stuff going on with Overwatch 2. And they have effectively announced recently that it's a lot of work working on single player and multiplayer, and they're just going to keep working on multiplayer. Sorry. Hero mode's not coming, etc., etc. I don't play Overwatch, so there might be some elements of it that got partially there. I don't know. I haven't dove far enough into this story, but I know a lot of the things that people were excited about, they're not coming, and Jeff isn't there anymore, so he can't make it happen. And that was one of the reasons why it was nice when he was around, was because he would kind of make those types of things happen. So I had a bunch of interest in Overwatch 2 because it was supposed to have co-op. And this is something that Linus and I have talked a decent amount recently, where it's like, you look at the games that are killing it recently, they're all single-player games. Basically, the ones that I can think of.
And yet the games industry doesn't want to build single-player experiences.
No, they're like, oh, we're going to make a bunch of games as a service. We're going to make all these other things. Ugh, we want to make a game that you literally play with 100% of your time for the rest of your life. One game.
I don't want that.
No.
I want to play Tears of the Kingdom and then have Tears of the Kingdom be over, and I want to play something else. I don't want Tears of the Kingdom to be slightly different if I log out for 6 months and log back in.
And it's like exciting when you do that, because then when the next one comes out, you're like, oh, cool, I get to go through a similar experience again. This is one of the reasons why I like getting people to play the Titanfall 2 campaign, because it's like 6 to 8 hours.
Okay, I really do still need to do that.
But like, I wasn't even trying to rag on you for that, but it's just like, it's a good, like, I beat it, and then the next night, I beat it again. Because I played it on the hardest difficulty.
What a Chad.
Because I was like, this game is worth going through again, right? And it was kind of too easy on the lower one, so I wanted to amp it up. But
humble brag.
it's actually like the other people have commented as well. They're like, regular difficulty is kind of easy.
Got it.
But it's a fantastic game, and one of the reasons why it's so good is because they'll introduce a new fun idea, and then before you're tired of it, they take it away and they give you a new one. They're like, oh, you're not quite done with this? Okay, well, doesn't matter. This is mine now. You get this other thing. And it's fun, and you get to the end of the game, and you're like, wow, that was cool.
For all its faults, It Takes Two did a pretty good job of mixing up the gameplay mechanics. It was really simplistic because it was kind of designed for relatively casual players, so I didn't really have a ton of fun with it. But I played through it, and it's one of probably only half a dozen games that I've actually played through start to finish over the last few years, just because life is busy. And that really is reflective of how few of these types of experiences are out there. And so I can see why people were so hungry for Overwatch 2. I mean, part of it too is, to Blizzard's credit, they've done a pretty good job of creating characters out of these classes.
So it makes sense to have a single player for it.
Yeah, it kind of does. But I mean, I don't know, should we criticize Valve for never doing a campaign with the Team Fortress 2 universe? Like, I don't know.
Probably. It would have been sick.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's,
I mean, where's an RTS?
Yeah.
Where's a Team Fortress?
Like anything. I talk to people about this
a Team Fortress 2 RTS?
all the time.
That would be awesome.
If you make a game that isn't trash and it has co-op, I will buy it. There's like no options. There's practically nothing that comes out, and this is not just true for me. I will sometimes see when we're talking about something, and we're like, we're not going to do that, it's not a very good idea, and you'll see some people in floatplane chat be like, I'll buy it. It's like, yeah, or I'll watch that thing or whatever, right? Like I'll watch that video and it's like, yeah, but we're competing against the algorithm. We have to find something that like a huge percentage of people are going to watch, not a hardcore niche. Co-op is not a hardcore niche. Everyone I know that plays games, literally everyone, wants co-op experiences. Maybe not to play with me, but to play with somebody, whether it's their partner or just another friend that they like playing games with or whatever. And there's like so few of them.
Yeah, someone in Floatplane chat, Michael's like, Portal 2 is another good single-player game. It's like, yeah, but how long ago was Portal 2?
Old!
Yeah.
It's
You're not wrong. Like
great
we're not
game.
we're not angry with you.
Yeah.
We're angry with the situation.
The fact that I still recommend people go back and play Portal 2 as a co-op game is crazy because there aren't a ton of like better, newer alternatives. Like what the heck? And people will look at games like, you know, old Assassin's Creed games used to have like competitive multiplayer.
Yep.
Why? And like no one ever cared because why would you?
Far Cry had competitive multiplayer or something like that. I
Why?
think.
And then modern Far Cry has co-op, but just like a bunch of other co-op games, the co-op implementation is like so whack. Why can't you just start a new game together? Like Joe and I were playing a game called Returnal, but you have to like join the other person's thing, so the person that joins in doesn't get the progress. It's only the server host. It's like, why are you punishing people for wanting to play games together? Stop having weird limitations of when you can play or not. Because there's like, oh, you can play Far Cry, but you can only join for one mission. It's like, what? So my friend happens to be playing a game, and I'm gonna be like, hey, you want to stop what you're doing and come play with me in Far Cry for one mission, and then screw off because you can't keep playing? I think that was one version of Far Cry. I think in Far Cry later you can keep playing the whole time. But it's just like, why are there these weird, like just...
It's just like trendiness, right? Like you brought up games that unnecessarily had multiplayer. One that blew me away was First Encounter Assault Recon. Do you remember that game?
No.
Fear?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it had multiplayer.
I had no idea.
That game's whole shtick was the bullet time thing, which obviously isn't going to work in multiplayer. So it was just a super generic shooter, and the atmosphere, like it's got it. Okay, that's one that I would strongly recommend. If you haven't played Fear, go play it. I don't know if any of the other ones were good. I think I might have played Fear 2. I didn't play Fear 3, although I've heard that one was good, and I have no idea about Fear 4. If there is a Fear 4 even. Is there a Fear 4, Fear 3? No, it doesn't matter. The point is I played the first one. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, it didn't need multiplayer. Why can't you just make one good thing?
And someone in the chat tagged me and said Call of Duty Zombies. I know a lot of people play zombies. I find it very repetitive and boring. It's a preference thing, whatever. What I don't understand is why can't you play the campaign together? There's other soldiers with you pretty much the whole time. Like, what do you mean? There's no... man. And like, it's so difficult to make good multiplayer games, and especially when you make them competitive, there's all this like hit registration issues and netcode problems and all this like crazy...
If you're not supposed to hit each other, then whatever.
Who cares?
Yeah.
The level of like what you have to get to is so much lower for a co-op experience. It should be so much easier. It feels like people are like, no, this is a single player game. You don't get to have my single player game. It's like, what do you do? Why? Like, come on. I don't know. Destiny 2 is a good co-op game. Destiny 2 is an MMO.
And on that note,
New COD has co-op missions, but it's not the whole game. It's not the whole game. No, that's not okay. No, we can't do that. The new COD has co-op missions, sure, but it's not the storyline game. They're canned experiences, and they're like weird, like speedrun things.
Borderlands is so boring. It's just it's Diablo. It's just Diablo. It's first-person Diablo. The amount of just like looting garbage just dragged.
I liked the first one, and then they kept releasing it, and I was like, this is the same game with a new map, which is okay sometimes. But
yeah, but it's people are talking Deep Rock Galactic. We tried to play Deep Rock Galactic. I think we just weren't like into it enough. It was pretty deep.
What about Portal 2 then? Okay, good counter argument, except Portal 2 is a new whole campaign, basically. The
Yeah.
co-op is a new whole campaign, which is great, because if you played the single player by yourself and then wanted to play co-op with a friend, now it's new puzzles. That's fantastic. The COD, if you haven't done it, the COD co-op missions is not a campaign. It's like playing, if you are an older gamer, it's like playing Red Alert or StarCraft on like scenario mode. You just like load into a map and you go, bleh, and it's like, it's better than literally nothing, but it's still bad.
Diese Fähigkeit ist noch nicht
It's still really
bereit.
bad. And I was honestly very frustrated because I heard that it had co-op, and I was really excited about it, and then I was so deeply disappointed with what the co-op was, because as hyper generic as COD campaigns are, my like
Das kann ich noch
gushy
nicht tun.
goblin meat brain still enjoys them, so being able to play them in co-op would be fun. But they're just like, no.
Noch nicht bereit. Diese Fähigkeit ist noch nicht bereit. Ich brauche ein Ziel.
Somebody said they saw you. The person you were kissing wasn't me. And I would never ask you. I just kept it to myself. I don't wanna know if you're playing me. Keep it on the low. 'Cause my heart can't take it anymore. And if you're creeping, please don't let it show. Oh baby, I don't wanna know. Every question I was caught like a precinct. How you go from housewife to a sneaky link? Got you riding around in all type of Benz's and Rolls. Girl, you used to ride in a Ricky then. I'm the one put you on that Beyonce. Fashion over model, I put you on the runway. You was right to Coach bags, not your Chanel.
Ich bin außer Reichweite.
I got a girl, but I still feel alone. People saying that my phone ain't home. And the nightmares are going through your phone.
Das ist zu weit entfernt. Ich habe kein Ziel. Ich bin außer Reichweite.